CGCP 2768 by Chestatica. Now you might have noticed that the bishop on d1 is about to be captured by the pawn on e2. Since the pawn can't be stopped in a materially favorable way, maybe the move to play here is bishop captures pawn. But what happens now? Black can force a stalemate with rook to b6 check. After king captures rook, it's a draw. Okay, what about rook to d5? Well, rook to a2 check. And here, if king to b6, rook to a6 check. If king captures rook, pawn captures bishop with promotion to queen, and white is losing unless he captures the queen, which again is a stalemate. What about rook to e5? Black can still play rook to a2 check. And here, if the bishop intervenes, rook captures bishop check, and we have the same problem as before. King to b6, and black can even play rook to e4, rook captures rook, pawn promotes to queen, and white is lost unless the rook captures queen, which again results in stalemate. So it's starting to look like this position is a bit more complicated than it originally seemed. Yet, there is still a way for white to win, and not only that, but to mate in 4. Let me show you how it's done. So as you can see, it's basically a dead draw unless white plays bishop to a4. But wait, this allows black to promote to queen immediately. That can't be right. Well, if black does that, the tables are now turned. Because white plays bishop to c6 check, the rook has to intervene, and bishop captures rook is mate. Okay, so promoting is out of the question. But what about rook to c2? Now bishop to c6 is not possible, is it? Yes, but white can still play rook to d5. Now rook to d8 mate is threatened. So let's say black promotes to queen anyway. Rook to d8 check, rook to c8, and either rook captures rook or bishop to c6 mates. And if here rook to c8 immediately, what about that? No problem. Rook to d8, sacrifice the rook, rook captures rook, bishop to c6 mate. And in this final position, white actually has less material than black. Until the next one.
Chestetica's Book of Chess Constructs, Volumes 1 through 5. Available on Amazon.